Mary Katharine, OpenAI is now withdrawing that Scarlet Light voice after she hired a lawyer. But isn't it creepy that just 2 days after she said no again, the OpenAI says, oh, this other voice artist had nothing to do with the famous actress? Why would anybody think that?
No, we all know what's going on here. It is creepy and or icky, whichever term you want to use. And have you heard the phrase, like, are we living in a simulation? In these modern times, some people wonder that. This is a reference to a 10-year-old movie, which is very good, by the way, about this relationship between an AI sort of character and a man that is very believable and very real. And now it feels like, are we living in a simulation? Is this what we're doing? But I think she's right to speak out and protect herself. And this is something that as media consumers, we're all going to have to get more careful about evaluating these things, which is very tough.
Yeah.
And this is kind of where we're headed. But it's going to mean more work for you guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, in the era of deepfakes and so forth. But when they posted this other actress, they used the word her, kind of signaling, well, it's kind of Scarlett. So, Kevin, here is a Scarlett statement. I was shocked, angered, and in disbelief that all women pursue a voice that sounded so eerily similar to mine that my closest friends and news outlets could not tell the difference.
Well, Howie, and again, we go back to the strikes. Remember, not too long ago with the Hollywood writers and actors and actresses, this was one of the main concerns was the advancements of AI, not just in terms of script writing, but also movie producing, actors in terms of the likeness, sounds, voices. So this is playing out in real time, and I think Scarlett Johansson is now going to become the cover girl for this kind of fight against, copyright infringement, likeness adaptation, and things like that.
Well, good for her for standing up for herself. That can't be an easy thing to do. And the company has retreated to, well, we didn't tell her in advance about this other voice, and we're sorry about that.
We also all know about it now, which is behooving them quite a bit.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, it's really personalized the story. And the deeper issue here, Mary Katharine, is that there are rules and regulations for this sort of thing, such as copyrights, such as creators' consent. And OpenAI is basically saying, we're powerful, screw that. We can do whatever we want.
No, I'm really sympathetic to performers on this, and as somebody whose voice is recorded for many hours, maybe somebody's coming for me, but like people should protect themselves on this front. It's really tricky for lawmakers to write laws about new technology, so I'm wary of that because they're not always super smart about how they do it, and it impedes innovation. But people need to protect themselves and also be aware of what they're consuming.
Can you copyright your voice? It's an interesting thing I never thought of.
Let me write that down.
Write that down. Call the lawyer. Okay. So, Kevin, The Atlantic says that the goal of AI, and every week it seems to advance more and more, is to alter the course of human history forever and create a utopia, and then it's in parentheses, or take over the planet and end life on Earth. And the Scarlett scandal, I think, and one of the reasons I wanted to do this is it kind of captures the sky-high stakes here.
It really does, and it puts a face behind this issue. I think, so much of the media coverage is death and destruction, AI, Terminators, taking things over, becoming self-aware, and not a lot of attention and focus on the real-life causes of AI, right? We're going to have a huge issue when it comes to automation and jobs over the next 5, 10, 15 years in terms of what the workforce in this country looks like. I think actually Fox does a really good job of shining a light on AI, especially not just in this conversation right here, but on Fox Digital in terms of working through the different ramifications that don't just sensationalize, okay, this is end of the light world stuff with Terminators taking over, but actually what are the real life consequences of jobs that are going to become obsolete when these computers and platforms take over.
Yeah, well, I'm rooting against the end of the world scenario. I'm reminded now that a political operative in New Hampshire just pleaded guilty to faking Joe Biden's voice for robocalls. So this obviously is going to go into the world of politics, business, you name it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I want to be optimistic about technology, but cautiously optimistic, because I think there are many ways that AI can be super helpful to your human brain, right? But how do we keep that from stunting us and or tricking us and or destroying us as a civilization?
Or wiping out a lot of people's jobs, which may be part of the scenario here as well. Mary Katharine Ham, Kevin Walling, thanks so much for an interesting discussion. Doug Burgum, the governor, is straight ahead, but up next, prosecutors threaten to confront Hunter Biden at next week's trial with witnesses and texts about his drug addiction.